Hi, I'm Keegan, and this is A Bunch of Gamers. This is our 186th episode of Werewolf the Apocalypse 20th Anniversary Edition, Rituals and the Forest. I'm going to go around and let my players introduce themselves.
I'm Tyler, and I play Kyle, also known as Guards the Low. He's a Philodox of the Children of Gaia.
Hi, I'm Sam. I play Cora. She's an Aruna in the Get of Fenris.
Hi, I'm Adam. I play Mark Guides the Fallen, and he's a Thurge of the Children of Gaia.
Hi, I'm Sean. I play Zeb Speaks-in-Sweet-Whispers. He is a Theurge of the Silent Striders.
Hello, my name is Riley, and I am playing Dimitri Howls-In-Memory, Lupus Galliard of the Bone Gnawers.
Hi, my name is George. I am playing William Grows-Matrices. He is a rune of the Glasswalkers.
Last time, Kyle, Cora, and Mark tried to make their way out of the abyss with Scent-of-the-Untouched-Hills, Nightmaster demanding that the Elder Lupus stays. They moved quickly, trying to find cracks out of the abyss, while William, Dimitri, and Stephen found a federal fuel depot and performed creative demolition, which caused an explosion so great it reverberated through the Umbra, allowing Cora, Mark, Kyle, and Scent-of-the-Untouched-Hills to escape the abyss. All while this happened, Zeb traveled to the Sept of the Green to speak with Shadow Dagger and speak politics about the rise of the Shadow Lords, the problems of the Garu Nation, and the fact that no cubs have been born for some time now. The packs finally reunited and all returned to Sacred Stone, but soon circumstance would pull them apart once again. Things are relatively quiet at Sacred Stone right now, though things are tense in many ways, given the state of the nation and the state of the kinfolk, who many are now on the wrong side of the law, given their several run-ins with police and HOA organizations attempting to vilify them, especially the families of the Peak. But during that time, Cora is working with some Thurges to summon spirits for her and working with those spirits to gain access to some gifts. Mark is doing the same. Dimitri and William are doing some training times as well. And Zeb, you had an idea for a rite here at Sacred Stone.
I did, and I do. Zeb will do the courtesy of speaking with Star-Touched, the Rite Master, giving them his suggestion of what he intends to do. So the idea would be, one, we've already sent out a pack to go and make contact with the Korax, and because we've done that, I want to do a twofold. One, bring honor to those storm crows when they come here, and second, spring is coming. The snows weren't as they should be. The earth is parched, and so my recommendation is that we have some of the younger packs, or all those that are available that aren't either standing guard or otherwise, through use of sweat, blood, tears, and mock combat feats, whatever what have you. We would therefore not only attract storm spirits, but give moisture, essentially give water from our bodies up for a storm to occur, to honor the river spirits that are here, to honor some of the the older and younger brothers' relationships with spirits that have been long standing for the Sept, showing good faith to the storm crows, and then at the end of this, calling upon Helios to show the full cycle. And I think this would be a modified type of springtime rite. Again, it would be a demand upon some of the Gru that are here, and my other condition would be that we would not, those that were involved would not hunt on the grounds of the Sept for Gnosis during that time. We would give of ourselves and take nothing in return. And so one, when he pitches this to the Rite Master, is to first that he would lead it, understanding that they have other duties. Two, not to step on the toes, their toes or anyone else for older and younger brother. And then three, for any other suggestions to make sure that it's just done right.
I think we can maybe work on that. I think we should actually speak to Teresa. She used to be the master of Rite here, and she has a stronger bond with many of the spirits and the Karen proper before we try and work through this, and she may have better suggestions than I.
All right, and so then Zeb will take Star Touched, and they will go and speak with Teresa, Fate Dancer. Same thing, give her the details, ask for her thoughts, and again, Zeb's point is, hey, he wants to do this because the other part that he'll mention then to her is, look, when the Koraks come here, I don't have much currency to trade them. There might be something that Older and Brother have to trade that is yours and yours alone. I don't need to be a part of that part. I want to do the ritual correctly and then leave it to the elders that are here that to whom this, the sept belongs to maybe make that pact, but we need more eyes. So Zeb will kind of give his reasoning for it and where his role is and then get her feedback.
I think that could work. I think that what we need to do is rebuild a relationship with our Korak siblings by not just doing this right, but including them in it as they come, because the Koraks have always been, ravens have always had close relationships with wolves. They call to us so that we know when there is prey, and we give them food. If we can perform a rite that nourishes the ground and possibly nourishes them, and they help show us the way, we recreate that relationship more spiritually in the guise of shifters rather than just the animal side of things. And as we come up with this rite, this becomes a secret and knowledge that they know that they could spread, potentially, as something new to just not spread to Garu, but other Farah as a way to create an olive branch further out than just this one moment.
Well, no, of course I agree wholeheartedly, and I appreciate your counsel on this. I know we have a general time frame for when they arrive. We can make our preparations with, again, all those that Bloodwind can spare that aren't maintaining guard or performing duty for the elders here. And then, yes, as they arrive, that can be the trigger where we begin.
Star Touched speaks up. Before we do that, let us petition Great Golden Eagle, for it is their Karen, and for a new right to try and enhance their Karen, there are risks that it could go wrong, and the great patron of this place must be kept aware and must give their approval before we can go forward.
Do we want to wait for the monthly moot rite to do that?
I think we should petition before myself. I think that given the tight timelines, I think speaking to the spirit in the Umbra intimately, rather than making a show of it, would be better for all parties involved.
I recognize this is my idea. Who else would go?
It would be myself, Fate Dancer, and Seas Unseen. They have a strong connection to the patron.
Is there anything else that Zeb would need to do from etiquette, formality, piece, knowing that he's going to speak to the patron of this place, and he is not of older or younger brother?
No, because this has always been this has been a mixed Karen now for at least well over 100 years at this point.
Fair. All right, he will make preparations with those three and take into account if there's any other offering that we would give, and again, an intimate conversation to Great Golden Eagle, that he's all ears, or if Zeb just knows what he should do. I can make the roll for that or otherwise, just to make sure we at least start the introduction right.
Yeah, Zeb would know the basic formalities.
Okay. He will prepare, and when they are ready, they can proceed to do that.
Okay. Kyle, Scent-of-the-Untouched-Hills is fairly far up the mountain in lupus form, resting in the sunlight. It's still a bit chilly, as it's only the 1st of April, and it's a bit windy.
I assume I am with him.
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to hunt?
I could hunt. It's I don't know how you can hear. It's so noisy. He takes a moment to look around. You mostly just hear the wind.
Can you hear the sounds of the city from here?
In my breed form, I can hear it sometimes. I can hear the humans walking up the trail not far from here. I can smell others on the wind and smell the fumes of their vehicles that are carried here. I can sometimes hear the honking of their horns for those who drive in to this park is loud.
I suppose it is. I've spent, well, enough time here and in the city that I'm not sure it's even background noise anymore. It doesn't register, and I think many of the animals also. They've been here their whole lives. Not much different from the wind rustling leaves.
I see. I will hunt, though. I can still smell the prey upon the wind, though it mixes with so many other things. There's precision in it, if you wish to hunt with me.
I do.
Alright, Kyle. In lupus form, could you get me do Wits Primal Urge Diff 6?
And you know what, Keegan? I'm going to spend a willpower because I don't want to be embarrassed in front of Scent-of-the-Untouched-Hills.
You hunt. You successfully bring down a deer with him. He seems to watch the deer more intently than you when you both come upon it. Before you chase it down and you begin to consume.
What did you see?
I saw the deer. I was just making sure that hunt was respected. What did you see?
Well, the deer, of course, but also how intently you watched it. More intently than I.
You have to watch. Deer flees. You hunt. Deer stands its ground. You leave it be. It is the natural order of things. Body's stronger because Garu, but hunt as family, as pack, with our pups. They don't hunt as Garu. They hunt as us, wolf. They hunt because when one stands to fight, pack could get hurt. Pack cannot chase weakened prey, bloody fangs. Gaia has shown us prey lives this day, find other prey.
An important consideration for our lupus family.
Important for you too. All are of Gaia. To break from the way the wolf hunts when you are part wolf takes something away from the mother and takes something away from you.
I'm grateful to learn this lesson from you. Thank you.
It is important, one forgot by two-legged siblings.
There are many things forgotten by the Garu Nation as a whole. And I will speak with him about the vision, what was likely a vision, that I had in the Abyss, where I spoke with Speaks Through Time.
Yes. That is, as he seems to be in contemplation, that is an interesting vision, but I'm not sure if I can interpret it properly. I am not of the tribe of prophecy, nor am I a Thurge.
No, but I think even taking it as it is, raw, there are things the nation must remember if we are to survive. Things the nation must be reminded of.
This is true. Cora, the spirit has been summoned. You're starting to try and learn your gift. You've been given your directive when Gabriella approaches you.
Hey.
I was wondering if you had some time, Two-Hearts, Rhea, to talk some things about the Get of Fenris?
Sure. Am I needing to go anywhere for what I need to do for my gifts? Because we can talk on the way.
Yeah, you have to go around town. You have to do several things for various spirits that are either embarrassing or time-consuming, given the level of gifts.
Okay, for sure. Well, as long as, we're in the park and such, it'll take a little while to get to town, so I'd be happy to talk to her on my way out.
So she asks about Tatiana Gutsuwiki. She's like, is it true that the Elder has passed? The legend?
I believe so.
How can that be?
We are we're in the process of investigating it. We're looking at a lot of stuff at the moment, but we have heard some rumors, and we will share the information that we discovered as soon as we can. But right now, we need more information. We need to gather some more information.
I see. And is it also true about Gogol Fangs First?
We heard that too. I don't have any confirmation on that. We heard it third hand, basically. So the person that our packs heard it from seems pretty convinced that Fangs First has passed. It's not great.
Do you have any tales of the Fenrir that I could learn from you?
Yeah, I've learned a few. I'm not great. I'm not a Galliard. But I can definitely I can tell you some stories while we walk.
And so you continue to walk, going through things. A few days pass, and Kyle, you start heading up to Electric Peak. Takes about, just because you're moving with caution, about 3 days before you get close enough to do the Howl of Introduction.
While we wait for them to come get us, I'm going to ask Scent-of-the-Untouched-Hills, basically, how do you feel being out of the abyss, that darkness?
It feels fine, but there's still a weight being here. The abyss felt like nothing. Nothing could be contrasted. Everything was the same. Here, I feel as if the world is brightened by Helios, and I walk as a shadow.
Keegan, how long precisely did we spend in the abyss? I mean, I know it was weeks, but
as it turns out, it was months.
Okay, like 3?
Let's see. You first went into the abyss. Close. Looks like you guys went in around... Yeah, you went into the abyss. Yeah, you went into the abyss starting February... or about January 24th.
Okay, yeah. Months.
Yeah. And it is April the 4th now.
Yeah, okay. We spent almost 3 months in the abyss, and you far longer. Time doesn't weigh the same, feel the same there as it does here. It just passes.
Yes, and my body tingles. Its body's hurts. Not used to weight of this, as he's trying to find the right words in the wolf tongue, as physical and spiritual do not exist. This forest heavy. Other forest we howled in felt locked there.
Yes, I've been told it is difficult to acclimate again. We met some Garu who had become unable to come back.
It is muddy. Holds paws down. As you hear a howl, and you are greeted as Raven's laughter approaches. Guards the low. Runs without pack. What wolf do you bring?
Raven's laughter. My pack is back home. I have brought Scent-of-the-Untouched-Hills with me. I spoke with your elders and told them I would be coming.
Yes, brought Great Elder. Wanted to be sure. Hard to tell if you would have made it or if you had failed.
Success so far.
Well, come. Electric Peak welcomes one as illustrious as Scent of the Untouched Hills.
Thank you.
As you enter the cairn, and you are greeted by the few Garu that live here, as they all look at Scent-of-the-Untouched-Hills with various levels of awe, respect, and a few with pity as they see that the shade of Hirano still hangs close to him.
I know this is a small cairn. I assume that the Rite Master is a Thurge.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. That hadn't actually been something that we had talked about. Is that still Unmoving Night?
It is still Unmoving Night, yes.
I would like to speak with Unmoving Night, in particular to see if there are any rites to help tie someone back to the physical when they have been gone for a long time.
Shadow Lord listens to what you're asking, shakes his head as he shifts into a form able to speak to more higher concepts in the Garu tongue. He says, "No, only time. It is a wound that is difficult to regenerate, and so some time in the physical realm. Much like some time in the Umbra is needed if one is divorced from the Umbra for too long."
I thought so, but still, always better to ask an expert.
"You should stay a few days.
That was our hope, if you'd have us.
We would gladly take one such as Scent-of-the-Untouched-Hills and an Athro of such renown as Kyle guards the low."
Thank you. If there's anything we can do while we're here, please.
"We will keep that in mind. I think it is best that you listen, you live, and understand."
I will, but that doesn't mean that we can't patrol or otherwise while we do it.
Patrol to your heart's content. The cairn is large, and having additional Garu keeping an eye, ear, and nose out would be greatly helpful.
Then we'll be sure to do so.
All right. William, you are collecting yourself and watching some news, as it turns out that there's been growing violence across the United States, especially in swing states, as several conservative mobs have grown and there's been huge outbreaks of violence. As of April 3rd, or yesterday, there was a huge, massive upheaval across 7 states that has led to the death of 478 people nationwide, as police continue to crack down and arrest suspected terrorist suspects and holding them up. There's also been talk that several police precincts have been bombed in recent days as well, seeming to correspond around the time of your guys' bombing of the fuel depot.
Does that line up with Roger's plan? Was
Yes.
that from... Okay.
Yes.
So it seems everything is working out, except, deaths of innocents.
Well, that and the spike of conservative group violence that seems to be unplanned. But yes, things are continuing, and you're able to bring that information to the Sept while you continue to do your training. Zeb, on April the 5th, it is time to go into the Umbra and speak to Golden Eagle.
Alrighty.
As you enter, the Caller of the Wild speaks and summons Great Golden Eagle. As the spirit lands, you notice that his feathers seem to have heat waves starting to come off of them as he seems to be coming closer and closer to Phoenix, his parental spirit, so to speak.
After they intone appropriate words, Zeb will speak, looking again for the visual cue to make sure he isn't stepping out of line when he does so. Great One, where Owl shows us what occurs in the shadows, you have revealed to me that which is in the skies, far-reaching across time, across space, which must be known, what we must act upon. We bring something before you now to attempt to bring back the old ways, to align ourselves with our Corex cousins, to see more, to know more, And we have devised among us a great rite that would call forth the storms with our cousins to replenish the land and the streams, the animals here, so that predators may hunt, so that our cousins may show us the way, and that we may be better unified to see more in very dark times. We would ask both your permission, your wisdom, and your blessing to carry forth this task.
You have called replenish on plenty, replenishing the lands. It is dry, and even the yucca plants grow brittle, and their roots struggle to drink in moisture.
We would give of ourselves and take nothing from those that crawl across Gaia's face or fly beneath Helios's gaze. Those selected would, their sweat, their blood, their essence would be spent, their effort, their rage, everything given back to the parched earth, the shallow waters, the clouds that are parched. We would ensure that those that would guard this sacred place would function to do so. But the shortest answer is this: intimately, we would give of ourselves and take nothing.
All right. Could I get a Charisma Expressions difficulty 10 minus your rituals?
Okay.
You have my blessing to try this ritual here in my home.
Thank you, Great One. Is there anything that we should point our cousins toward to see?
They will see, and they will bring to you what they see. You must trust them to try and point them, try to direct them. You will only repeat the mistakes of the wars of rage.
It has been my greatest privilege to serve you and your sept. Barring the rest of them having anything to say on this, he'll follow the cue that it's time for us to go.
Yep. You guys start to head out. Mark, you are in the umbra of Sacred Stone, able to commune with the spirits based on your vision.
Mark will pretty much take off his magpie swag and he'll start taking out his talons and he'll lay them out in like a ritualistic way. And he'll start by just saying out loud into the umbra in the ancient Garu tongue, "Spirits, I am here to give you thanks. I expect nothing in return, for this is a time to just honor you."
There is silence. The place is barely illuminated, as the daytime of the Umbra typically is. The clouds hang overhead and the shadows are long and deep. There's a bit of a gray coloring, even here in the Cairn, where colors tend to be more vibrant. There are twitches in the background, perhaps of hidden spirits watching and waiting.
Mark will begin by shifting some rocks, pretty much, and making the guise of a bonfire. Not exactly lighting it.
Okay.
And what he'll do is he'll take one of his blood ice talons and he'll switch into Krynos form. And speaking again out loud in the ancient Garu tongue, he will say, "I honor the war spirits and the spirits of blood that have been shed and have aided the Garu nation in our cause." And he'll begin writing with the blood ice on his skin, kind of like carving pretty much into it, Garu glyphs of honor and remembrance and duty. And then when he's done with that, and he'll put the blood ice talon away, and then he will begin lighting the fire pit.
Okay.
And he will say, "I honor the fire spirits that have burned and blazed a path for the nation, for me." And he will light the bonfire. And then he'll begin mimicking the flames, dancing around it, and kind of swaying back and forth along like the flames. And then as he notices that there's like embers forming at the bottom, he'll kneel down and he'll take some embers and he'll take them into his palm and he'll begin consuming them And just as they have purified a path for the nation, they have purified me. And he'll begin swallowing the burning embers. And then, as he's dancing more, he'll then shift into hippo form and begin running around the flame and give honor to the air spirits and the air elementals. And he wants to try to, in intervals, jump over the flame. Just as much as the wind teases the flame, he will tease the flame with his body back and forth, back and forth. And then he will dash up to a nearby cliff, and he will transform back into Krynos, and he will begin covering himself in mud and dirt and take the form and prostrate himself as a boulder, and he will force himself off the cliff.
Roll soak, please.
Will
Diff
do.
8. So you take 1 lethal damage as you hit the ground hard, and you hear crackling in the flames that you lit above.
Why are you acting the fool?
I'll look up to see who it is.
It is Burns Without Mercy, living in the flames.
I certainly try not to act the fool, but I have been the fool in my treatment of you spirits.
Do you think eating embers and jumping off cliffs proves that?
As you hear a tickle on your ear,
Do you think marching me, as I slowly died, without a care in the world, makes up for that by simply jumping?
Well, whose voice would that be?
Winds of the Mountain.
I can only do what I can do, and I feel I can only do what I must, and I can only mimic what you can do. My folly was thinking you were the tools, when in fact it was I that was supposed to be the tool for you. I was supposed to be your voice, and I have failed.
The sky goes crimson, like blood, as another spirit arrives.
It is not about tools. You honored me correctly once, but it is not about tools. It is about walking as siblings. Are you not half of us?
Burns Without Mercy.
You are a warrior, not a weapon. You have treated us as weapons.
You hear the whisper in your ear.
Did you not think to ask us on how you could make amends?
An earth spirit begins to rumble beneath your feet.
Did you not think to speak to us, to learn of us, to perform Chimogen, if needed?
Burns Without Mercy again.
Did you think a show, a play, would be enough? Did you not think to speak? You are not a tool, you are a Garu. I am not a tool. I am flame. Do you think you are separate from us?
Winds of the Mountain.
Do you think that separation between the gauntlet makes you different? That makes you greater or lesser than us?
The earth spirit.
You are part of the hierarchy yourself. It is built in your rank. We have made deals with your ancestors so that your rites and rituals will call to us. And these are simply answers that you honor us in a relationship.
A relationship cannot be saved
Winds of the Mountain speaks.
by simply fawning. It must be saved through acts that show that you are willing to grow.
Burns Without Mercy.
Willing to walk.
The earth spirit.
Willing to stand with us and show us that you are willing to try and understand us.
Mark will sit cross-legged next to the bonfire, and he will say, "Then I am here now, truly willing to listen to you three. Please, speak with me as if I am family. Speak with me as if I am just a lost brother returning home."
Winds of the Mountain speaks up.
Brother, you are selfish. You have always acted selfishly with the spirits. You act as if there are many things that you give us, but you gift us gnosis and call it honor when it is simply a treat and you expect us to jump or bark like dogs. You do the acts that we ask of you, but you do them because you think that is a bargain, not a relationship. Whether you've crafted that there, the bag that holds. But how many times have you spoken to the spirit within since you've placed him in it?
Mark will bow his head and say, "You are absolutely right." And Mark will just go to the magpie swag and pick it up and bring it close to the fire, and then think about it and bring the talons closer to the fire. And he'll just sit there and kind of hug it, and then he'll just sit there and ponder upon how he can make things better.
You sit there in contemplation, listening. The crackles of various sounds in the umbra. There, you hear the cawing of the magpie within your bag, as it seems to speak.
The umbra is a mirror. We enter physical objects because we cross over it. To aid us both here and in your world.
Burns Without Mercy kind of speaks up.
That is why we have bands. We have natures that must be abided by. There is a balance, an order. You aid us in that to become part of it.
I think I understand Burns Without Mercy, and I do apologize, but what is your name, Magpie?
Catches the grains.
Mark will dust himself off. Not stand up, but he'll just start dusting himself off and thank the spirits before them. The lessons will never stop. I'm aware of this now, and I thank you. I was not expecting a lesson I needed. I just wanted to give you all the proper honor and memory you deserve, for I straddled that place between death and oblivion, and I saw what happened to those forgotten, and I do not want that happening to you.
All right. A few days more pass as Zeb is starting to get his stuff going, but we go back now to Electric Peak with Kyle and Scent-of-the-Untouched-Hills. Kyle, you have been living in your lupus form now for 2 days here at the Sept, and there is a rhythm to this place that you notice. The sounds and the smells change with the passage of time in a way that makes you feel like, even though you haven't looked at a clock, you have a general sense of the time. There's no distinct o'clock in your head, certainly, but there is a kind of understanding. The trees have subtle nuances in their smell. The birds' songs change throughout the day, and then sometimes, though, like a gunshot that cuts through all this rhythm and makes it feel wrong, or that rhythm goes away. Briefly, you can hear a car from 2 or so miles away cut through things, and there's a kind of lull in the sounds before they start to kind of re-pick up.
I think I understand the noise you meant now.
There isn't as much here. It is mostly good. It is not enough to throw off the songs.
Yes, at Sacred Stone there is so much of it that you can forget it's there because you can't hear this song at all.
The elder nods, and you get this smell from him, and it's his, like a fingerprint that you now associate with a kind of contentment or a kind of, not quite approval. The body language shows the approval mixed with the smell. It's all there. Subtle whiffs of him, the movement of his fur, the position of his tail, and the exact angle of his eyes that suggests to you that he is content with your answer.
I wonder if I focused, now that I've heard this song, if I could find any trace of what it is supposed to be at my home.
Possible. Walk far, and you can find an untouched song in the untouched hills. But even then, there might be screams of human bison that roll through their stone trails. There is a song at your home, but the song is different. It is obvious. It is loud. The quieter sounds hard to hear. The quiet smells hard to breathe. But they are there. It is just a more difficult hunt. Makes the head race. The mind may not be able to find balance as easily. Even now, we change wolf tongue and smell to fit mind that has been touched by those loud songs.
I think that is the only way, because when Gaia, when the world changes, you need the words to explain it.
Howls help speak it, but too much howls stops you from feeling it. As he turns and he looks, and there's a nice breeze that comes, and he takes a deep, deep breath of it, taking in everything in the smells. The slightly cool, maybe mildly warm breeze tickles your nose as well, Kyle, and you feel the rustle of your fur shift in creating a kind of compression of warmth and a wave that kind of gently massages your skin.
And how does it feel to you?
Like days past. Do you smell it? He takes another deep breath and seems to be expecting the same of you.
Kyle will follow suit.
Alright, could I get a, with your lupus stats, and this is included in the difficulty, a Perception Primal Urge, difficulty 6, please. So you take a breath, you get the smell, you can smell at least 7 individual deer, though you think there's more. The smell's a little too mingled for it. You get the smells of maybe 10 or 20 creatures of the same species, though the smell is unfamiliar to you. You simply know that there are subtle notes within the smell that makes them the same. You smell the soil and know that there is a high acid content thanks to the pine needles that have fallen recently, which makes the soil a bit harder for some plants, but good for the pine trees that surround you. You smell the warmth on the wind, and cutting through it just a little bit, just on the back of your mind, is a tiny bit of the smoke that came out of the car, but a few moments later, as it gently wafts this way, it's subtle and in the background, but because it smells so different than everything else, it is somewhat stark in comparison to the smells here and the feelings that they draw, and the feeling of disconnect from that one smell.
I smell much, and Kyle will describe most of what you gave. Nothing like acidic soil, instead healthy soil for the pine trees, and then the car.
Yes. The smell takes a while to reach here, but it is important that you smell that, and how it doesn't have to be this way. Have you ever listened to the ancestors speak of the smells?
None of my ancestors that I've spoken with have been lupus, so no.
You should sometime. Your ancestors will say different things than mine, surely, but I remember their howls. They said that it was not always like this. That the smell of humans traveling, while stark and could be smelt, they did not have the same out of touch, the difference, for they rode beasts, and it played with the song. There are other smells, I'm sure, Humans could have traveled different ways than those. If there was only one thing, perhaps, there would be less of the smell and it would fall off a bit more. But now it is a strange note that always seems to interrupt at irregular intervals. Many come here to walk with the trees and feel connected. And from my understanding, many humans do. But they still create a discord because of those things that they come here in. They're metal beasts.
It's true that they do. I can smell that now and feel it. But those that come here to do as you say are the humans that are closest to understanding.
Some, not all.
No, not all.
Kyle, could you roll me Charisma Expressions, Diff 9, and you'll need 3 successes. If you do Persuasion, if you activate Persuasion, you will need 2 successes.
I'm gonna be activating Persuasion.
I kind of figured. I just wanted to tell you the parameters. All right, so you'll need 2 successes now.
And I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Alrighty.
Alright. Fuck. I'm gonna mulligan.
Alright, mulligan.
Nice, that's way better, because I'm gonna use Lagomorph Spoon on the 1.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah. So got 2 successes. You're talking in this kind of understanding, and him seeing you essentially growing as a Hamid lifts his spirits, and surprisingly, given the extreme difficulty of the situation at this particular point, his Hirano lifts for good, and he decides to stay here.
I had a whole fucking speech. Well,
would you like to read it for the class? Would it make you feel better?
Nah, it's fine, but I will continue this conversation a little bit if you don't mind.
Sure.
I have spent my entire life pre-Garu in the cities. Many others have too. Until I was given a purpose, I had no reason to leave them because I did not understand what was outside of them. I had been born so far from them.
I saw from the hills that there are many green spaces in your city near your sept. It is better than most. That is one thing many tribes forget, though the Sept of the Green, from everything I'd heard, remembered. Even humans need green spaces, places to ground them, even if the song is slightly different than here.
They do, and I spent a lot of my time in those spaces. But to me, that was nature. But these last few years have made it so painfully obvious that it's not. And these last few days have shown me that, well, even the places I viewed as peaceful and concordant were not. Not as much as they could or should be. I just mean that the humans who choose to come out here are further along than I was.
There are those green places were nature. Humans and Hamids, and even Red Talons, seem to not understand that it is all still nature. It is all still part of Gaia. Humans can craft their own forests, and if they craft them poorly, they grow hot, they grow stagnant, and the worm festers where they bring so much weaver with them. This is a different forest, and one that many Garu need, because even if you are born human, a part of every Garu is wolf, and the quiet here, the subtlety of sounds, are needed, because it is a song that sings to your heart. But even I, for I am human, despite my birth, that has it so that I walked into human forests and heard, and at those times, sometimes it was a song I needed, but it was a song that hurt, because the cities are built wrong, their forests built wrong, and it is filled with the smell of excrement, even though there is none to be seen. And it smells of pain, despite the smiling faces who ignore them, and the difficulty to see them. There is pain in these forests too, but they are the pains and fears of prey and predator. There is not suffering for suffering's sake, not in the same way. And that is why I went to the Untouched Hills, because my heart broke for the fact that someone could build a forest, or someone could grow a forest that was filled with so much pain constantly.
Thank you for sharing that with me.
Let us hunt. Let us perform the ritual. And if the buck's antlers are down, we will walk away. Guy has deemed him to live. And so you go down. A few more days pass, and the Koraks arrive. Cora and Mark, you have finally learned your gifts, and there is buzzing, though, as new visitors have come to the Sept of the Sacred Stone. Even William and Dimitri, same thing, as 4 Koraks arrive. One Devon Swiftwing, a Catherine Sunspeaker, Cries the Battle Song, and Daniel Catfinder. Cora, 2 or all 4 of them look familiar to you, and 2 of them look familiar to you, Mark.
Can you remind Sam Brain where we've seen them before?
So Sam Brain, 2 of them you're not quite sure, but 2 of them, they were in Denver when you dealt with the Werewolf serum with Morgan, Roy, and his pack. The other 2, Cora, it's been so long. The Swiftwing and Sunspeaker, you're not sure. You don't, you recognize them, but you can't put your finger on it. It's been a very long time.
Mark will give greeting to the 2 that he's familiar with, and then he'll introduce himself to the 2 that he's not.
Greetings. Yes. We, the 2 that you are not, Devin and Catherine, we've spent some time in Colorado. We've actually called Colorado our home for some time. We usually do flyovers, as one of them looks at Cora and has the same look of, you look familiar, but I don't remember your name.
Cora will return the look. We both know we don't know each other's names.
As Swiftwing kind of starts, snapping his fingers and goes, "Were you in a hospital in Pueblo?"
Yes.
That's where I've seen you. Yeah. After that whole Bone Nars disappearing incident.
Yes. It has been so many years.
In game terms, it has been 7, almost 8 years.
Almost 8 years. Wow. Yeah. We found out what happened to them.
Yeah, us too, as it turns out. We spread the word a little bit. Anyway, we were told some Big Shot Thurge was looking for us.
Big Shot Thurge. You look real ugly, you know?
Missing an eyeball.
That, yes. The other one seems kind of subjective.
Yeah, that would be Zeb. Speaks-in-Sweet-Whispers.
Zeb, as you start approaching.
And I'll have kind of the trio that was with me before to go speak to Great Golden Eagle. Yeah, the 4 of us will go out there, assuming we have the blessing of the elder here, the Sept. We'll go out and join those 2. Welcome to Sacred Stone, cousins. We're glad you're here. I'll be to the point. We don't see as far as we used to, and there used to be a time when you and your kin assisted us greatly. We would like to bring those times here again, and we would do so with a great ritual that we would like you to take part. It is something new. We have never done it before. We have consulted with our patron here who supports it, and we look only to listen to you, cousins. and to have you be here with us now. And we can talk details after a time if there are more coming.
Cries the battle song goes, "What is the idea of this ritual? What is the plan?"
I will roleplay a portion of this, but I will make sure I will just say that I will lay out the things that Zeb has already talked to with others.
Okay.
We intend to give of ourselves to this area, to the trees, to the plants. I have traveled into Mount Silverheels before. It would be something similar. We give of ourselves to the earth, to the air, those things within our bodies, taking nothing from the place here, that it may be replenished, that a great storm might come here, and that spring would come, and that by replenishing this place together, both of us there'd be something to gain, but would also show our truest hearts to you, and a true cooperation.
Then let us tie the need for us in your ritual. You say you wish to give, then let us give, but we must be natural as well, to gather the eyes of the spirits and to bleed into the earth. My kin make cries, and your kin come to eat. Let it be that we will make these cries, and any Garu who hear us rush in, and the first two there must perform mock battle to first blood. The one who is bleeding must then lay on the ground and bleed into the earth until the wound closes enough that few drops leak from the wound, and then goes and listens for the calls again until it becomes dangerous for him to continue.
Very well, cousin. And to understand our ways, I would have others that would maintain the sounds and noises of thunder and lightning, continuing to exhaust ourselves, prepared for your calls to hunt, to show again that we are tireless, to show that we are devoted.
This sounds fine to me.
What time of day is it right now, Keegan?
It's about 6 o'clock in the evening.
Okay, so we'd be starting at night?
We should start at the dawn, and it will take some time. It has been very dry. In game terms, Zeb, this will be a 3-day ritual.
Right. Zeb will perform part of his shemanage to start this, Keegan, and that's the, standing out in the open, mother naked, under the moonlight.
Okay.
And as a means of almost attracting more attention, what I'm going to weigh, Keegan, is does Zeb raise his appearance to actually just attract that much more, or does he stay hideously ugly, which would also attract morbid curiosity?
I would stay hideously ugly myself.
All right.
Makes his pack awkward, too, because they're there. So they're just like, that's our alpha, just gets naked. Whoa, that's our alpha.
Oh. So that'll be the direction that's given to everyone. To rest, to tend to their fetishes and speak to them, let them rest, and prepare themselves to hunt, and for a long and tireless ritual. And Zeb will hang his airfoot anklets like in a tree to enjoy swinging in the breeze, and he will perform his part of the shemanage of standing naked in the open under the moonlight.
Perfect. All right, this is a 3-day ritual, so we're going to start doing the rolls for that. So Zeb, I'm sorry, it is a 5-day ritual, one for each auspice, and it will require a stamina rituals roll diff 8, please.
All right. Are there any, because we've never done this before, are there any additional bonus dice or anything based on participants?
No, because this is meant to be done with a ton of participants. You are essentially at the minimum currently, and you can refine it to, as time goes on, to try and decrease the number of participants, but this will always be a large number of Garu Rite.
Okay. I'll do this in war form? Or do I have to be in breed form for it? Are there any restrictions to the form that Zeb takes for it?
Nope. Nice. Great roll on day 1 as you start doing it. Cora, William, you hear a raven call as you both get there, and you are the first to arrive, the two of you, as the raven is cawing. I need initiative rolls from Cora and William.
Okay.
Any damage that gets over soap will be reduced to just 1 damage.
Well, I know I'm going second.
You sure are. What are you doing this round, William?
Dodge, spend a point of rage, claw.
Okay. Cora, knowing what that he's doing, what are you doing?
I'm going to dodge, and then I'm actually going to try out my new gift of clenched jaw. So I'm going to... Oh, no, never mind, because I'm in Krynos. Claw.
Okay. So you spend it... Oh, you don't have to spend a point of rage. That's right. All right. William dodges the fuck out of that. Holy shit. That's 5 10s. Holy shit.
Good job.
Where was that roll on anything of significance?
It's a great question.
All right, William, now you get to do your claw, and Corey, you get to do your dodge.
Nice. Nice.
That's why Cora is a weightlifter.
All right, soak, Cora. Damage, William. Damn. All right, so you only take 1 point of damage, Cora. As Cora, you come in with the claw slams down as William jumps, Riker rolls out of the way, and then performs an uppercut of his claws. Cora is too slow to get away as he hits her rock-hard skin and gets just a slight cut. As Cora, you have to feign falling onto the ground and start bleeding into the earth.
Okie dokie.
There is a call, a caw. Mark, Dimitri, you hear that call and you bump into each other.
Huh. Fancy meeting you here.
All right, initiatives.
Ooh.
All right, Dimitri, what are you doing this round?
I'm gonna dodge and claw.
All right, spending a point of rage then. Mark, what are you doing this round?
I am going to claw, spend a point of rage, and claw.
All right. Make them 2 claw rolls. Dimitri,
All
make your
right.
dodge roll.
Next is roll. There's the first one, and the second one incoming.
Well, roll damage first, because
Oh, yeah.
Dimitri failed the shit out of that dodge roll. So, how that basically boiled down was Mark and Krynos going, fancy meeting you here, and Dimitri going, hey, you two, ow! Failing to dodge, getting completely cut off guard, and slammed down.
Mark will be sure to bend down and be like, sorry, it was for the ritual. Nothing personal.
Dimitri bleeds into
good.
the earth.
Dimitri gives the thumbs up.
All right, day 2. No successes.
Let's mulligan that.
Mulligan that?
Ugh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a botch,
yeah.
at least.
No, not a botch at least. Get that out of our system, my friend. There we go.
All right, so total of 8 successes. Let's go to day 3. Total of 10 successes. Day 4. Total of 13 successes. Day 5, last day. All right, that's a total of 15 successes. Kyle, you're returning to Sacred Stone at this point, traveling across the country as you see a massive, like, the physical world, you don't quite see it, but you sense something on the other side of the gauntlet is that powerful. Zeb, a greater storm spirit appears, booming overhead, as it is a minor avatar of Grandfather Thunder with storm crows blasting alongside him, cawing, and lightning shooting off of him as the spirit rumbles.
Great One, we give of ourselves as warriors to replenish this place, to make our prey grow, to make our warriors keen, to make their claws sharp, to make their senses one with all around them. We give of ourselves only that this place might be replenished.
And and I'm assuming we have planned then of the Gnosis give too that the participants will give
Yes.
for this.
The Gnosis
All right.
is given, and the spirit goes,
I can bring great rain, but there is not much moisture here. Moisture heals, but and your blood has soaked some of the earth, but I require more. If you wish for a true downpour, I can pull it from elsewhere, but I must ask you who do you deprive of rain this day?
Oof. Okay, so this is like the wind thing again. Sorry. we're looking at a spot that's not going to get rain for the sake of this place receiving it. Trying to rack my brain or Zeb will rack his brain for like the worst, like worm-ridden, just terrible fucking location that he could just afflict with nothing, just to again, just pure fucking spite.
Well, you notice that William's eyes light up.
Zeb, you have a suggestion? I do. Oregon is facing massive floods right now, so it would actually be beneficial to deprive them of water, as they're currently drowning in it. Well, goddamn done. Alright, so we would call the rains from the place called Oregon, to the west of here, that has suffered flooding for a great time, Great One. So be it.
As the storms start to come in, Zeb, as there's lightning going everywhere, and you can try it, as the storm comes, the area is replenished, and then finally, Kyle arrives, as he is drenched to the bone unexpectedly, along with the rest of you, because there's a massive fucking storm going on.
Right. My question for summoning here, Keegan, he's been at it for 5 days.
Sure.
I guess he will, still kind of undertake that part, but to summon the spirit that he needs, I mean, is there a reduction at all after this point?
No, there's a spirit here. You can try and speak to one of them now.
Okay, I will.
During this.
Okay, yeah, Zeb will. And when Zeb's talking to him, like, Zeb's going to have those deer antlers that he's got, just, like, striking them, like, continue to make noise.
Okay.
Times have grown bleak, and the end comes to us soon. I would ask of you, my friend, to join with my flesh, so that we may give great honor to you and your brood, and strike down the enemies that would bring about the end. To do so, I would pledge to maintain this ritual, to keep it alive amongst our people, for your brood, but also to never seek shelter within the rains again, and to fulfill anything else you would ask of me.
Alright, right at the fetish, and we'll drop that to difficulty 8 because of the 2
bands
the bands you placed on them. As you hold up your fist, the spirit seems to call out, granted, and you all watch as a lightning bolt strikes Zeb right in his hands as it arcs between the two of them as scars rip across his hands, and the spirit is bound within them.
And then Zeb will lay outside in the rain in great pain, not subduing it, and wait this out.
Yeah, yep, a lot of bands, as it turns out. But 10 days pass, everyone has learned their training times, and Kyle has one last piece of his rank challenge. Him and 5 other Garu must join him in going to Wolfholm as he approaches the group.
So, how do y'all feel about going to Wolfholm?
Okay.
I'll go to Wolfholm with you, Kyle.
I've come this far with you, Kyle. Ride together, die together.
I suppose I can condescend to your pathetic Athro request.
Thank you, honored elder.
I'm in.
There's a bit of preparation that everyone will need to do, but we'll find out all that and more next time. Thank you to everyone who listened. We'll catch you in that next episode. Bye.
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 See you then.